Hey, welcome to today's video. My name is Arfan. I'm the co-founder of Grow, Automate, Scale. We are a advertising agency that helps coaches, online coaches, specifically life coaches, health coaches, leverage the power of Facebook ads so you can reach more of your ideal client, convert more clients into your program, and increase your impact. So in today's video, we're talking all about Facebook ads for life coaches, and this is the complete guide. Okay, I want to go from the beginning to the end because I believe Facebook ads or Facebook itself is really the fastest way for you to reach your ideal client. Okay, and I want to explain this because the thing is, most people who have Facebook, they're on the platform every day and they're averaging over an hour per day. So your audience is on Facebook, they're on Instagram, and like it's really right now a great cost to still reach these people on this platform. So, but there's a lot of mystery behind it. Okay, so I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna go through from the beginning to the end as far as what you need to do. And Facebook ads still work for coaches, despite the things we say Facebook ads are dead. That's not the case. It's not true. It's been people have been saying that since I started using ads back in 2019. So it's not true. Okay, so I want to break down what this actually looks like from beginning to end and how you can really get started and what the potential, what the possibility is. Now, this is one of our client accounts and we've been doing this strategy with them. And the strategy is a live launch strategy. I'm going to break this down, but basically to kind of keep it very, very simple, you're going to run something like a live event, a masterclass, a challenge. In this case, we're doing a masterclass, right? Now, these are all the same and we generate leads for them. At this masterclass, we're going to now make our offer and we're going to repeat that cycle, okay? Generate leads to a live class. Then we're going to make everybody our offer on that live class. And we're going to open up the opportunity for about 7-10 days or so. And we're going to retarget them with ads. And we're going to run this process, okay? So this past launch, we added, it was over $210,000 in sales. But before I got to this point, I want to take it back to where it all first started back. Beyond spring, beyond 2024, so we're in 2023, summer, spring. We got to go, let's go back to 2022 when a lot of this very, very first started. And actually, it's even before 2022. I have to go back further than that. To 2021. We are going to go, back to 2021 when it all first started. Essentially, what you're doing is you're running lead generation to a class. This was a webinar, master class, if you will. And this is what, and I'll go into short details of, kind of like the basics of a webinar here in a second. But we generate leads to a webinar, then we retarget into our offer. And this is a high ticket offer, okay? It's $5,000 offer. So we generate leads. We, give them necessary information they need so they make a decision to work with us. And we repeat this offer. So we started off back in 2021 with a relatively smaller budget. It was around $2,000 was the budget back then. To then being able to process over and over again from 2021 fall to 2022 winter, spring, and along the way, okay? So same process, same exact webinar, but it has evolved. It's changed so much. We went from not having it convert at all, meaning that people come on but nobody on the actual class was purchasing, to then being able to scale it from multiple 4 figures to multiple 5 figures to 6 figures to multiple 6 figures where we are now. Okay, so I want to show this entire process. Now, this isn't something that it's it's cookie cutter. Like, you have to really know your target audience. You got to know what they want. You have to be able to actually help them out. It's not something you can just whip up. It does take time. It does take energy. It does take effort, and it does take a experiment mindset. Meaning that you have to be willing to do this multiple times. You got to be willing to try it, to fail, to host 2 to 3 of these in 1 week, same topic, same content, and potentially have 2 or 3 where nobody purchases. Okay, but remember, you end the closing opportunity like any class is a registration or something like that. and at the registration, you close the opportunity. So you got to give it the time, and we start small, and the scalability of it. Once it converts, once you're able to now say, hey, I got the rhythm of this, you can really create this machine, okay? And what this actually looks like, okay? That's the ad process, right? We generate leads, and I was going to show my client accounts. You know what? Let me protect my clients at the end. I'm going to actually just go to the Facebook ads library. Let me go back to the Facebook ads library, and I searched up coaching, and I found someone here that's advertising coaching. And this is basically exactly how it's done. Now, I don't know this person. I don't know what their exact stats are, but this is the entire process of how what you're essentially going to do. So again, a webinar. Okay. So this right here is basically a simple training, and she calls this Beyond Bubbles, Beyond Bubble Baths, Real Self-Care Strategies for Wives. Okay. So she's going to actually teach them what they need. And then at the end of it, she's going to make an offer. She's going to make an offer into her coaching program. Okay. Now, you can see here, this is Saturday, November 16th. So it's tomorrow at 9 a.m. You collect name, email, and phone number. So this is the entire process. And a lot of you are familiar with this. If you're in live coaching, someone's told you to create a website, you need a funnel. Okay. But this is the basics of the webinar funnel. You have a landing page where someone comes to register, name, email, phone number. When they sign up, they're going to then get to the thank you page where you give them the next steps. And then you're going to automate an email sequence on the back end that is going to send them reminders for the emails and so forth, right? So they can know when to show up, they can know where they're going to go, which is going to be maybe a Zoom link or something like that, okay? Now, that strategy is common. A lot of you, I'm hoping you're familiar with that, you've heard of it, and you may have already done it, and now you're trying to scale it. That's why you're on this video for learning how to do Facebook ads, okay? So if we're on the same page, I want to dive in. So I take a little bit of time to make sure we're all on the same page, and you know where you kind of need to be, execute this, okay? So when you're running the ads to an event, okay? So let's go ahead and take this summer of 2023 as an example, okay? We're running a masterclass. We have our ads campaign set up, and of course this was a higher budget, right? So we're now scaling here. We're at a significantly higher budget. Our ads have generated 12 sales, and of course this is not including sales that have happened on the back end. This is just sales generated through the actual ads manager, $5K for the group program, which is 3 months long, okay? So these ads are all set up, and you get a varying difference in cost per lead, and that's gonna be part of it. You're gonna get a difference in cost per lead. Yours may be super low. It may be higher, like this is on the higher end. This is a more niche client, like where the target audience is very, very niche, very, very niche. So it costs more the more niche you are. So what we're looking at here is, this is what's called a lead generation campaign. So when we create, we look at campaign objective. This is, what do we want Facebook to do? This is our objective, and we want to generate leads. We want to collect leads for our business and brand, so we do leads, okay? Now, what happens is that a lot of this isn't exactly clear, and they want to do tailored results. You never want to do tailored results. What you're doing here is you're going to be looking at manual leads campaign, okay? You want to do manual leads campaign because manual leads campaign is the best way to go. Now, let me go back to that. That's the basics of setting it up. We're setting it up as leads. Retargeting, we set up as purchase, okay? So if you look at the same process, what we're going to be doing here is sales. So you create one for sales, okay? So now, what makes ads complex, okay, is the little stuff in between. What does it all mean? What do we, how do ads even work, okay? And we know how they work is that, hey, they go on Facebook, my ideal client sees an ad, and we know that process. That's simple. But how do ads actually work? And what we're looking at is, one thing that Facebook does is that when they start you off with looking at a performance object. Like this is what the platform looks like on default, performance. And performance actually takes a lot of the data away, and it doesn't show us the actual critical things that we need. It shows us the biz strategy and the budget, attrition. All these things mean important things, okay? So we want to know, the campaign is simple. Is our campaign name. Delivery is on or off. Biz strategy, highest volume. Everything is automatically highest volume. There's not really a way to adjust and change that's going to make it better for you. So then you have budget, what you're spending. But when we want to get the actual stats as far as to know how ads work on clicks, right? I want to know if people are actually clicking my ad. Ads work by conversion. How many people click the ad and how many people actually convert it? We want to know these things. And some of these things, they don't make it clear as day on the platform. So what I like to do is change the performance and clicks. Because this not only lets us know the performance as far as the basic stuff, like how many results I got and my cost per lead, is now, hey, if I want to lower this cost per lead, I want to know if this is working accurately. If I look at this campaign right here, and I scroll over to the right, I can now see other stats. And this is how ads work. And this can be a lot for sometimes to be able to understand, because it's not a very visual thing. It's a bunch of numbers on a screen like a grid, and it's like it can be tough to understand. So how I've learned to read this is starting from the back to the front versus going from left to right, going from right to left. Okay. So, and the reason why is because I'm looking at it from the actual client's journey. Okay, so the user journey. Again, this is me. I grab my cell phone, I open up Facebook, I'm scrolling, and I see an ad, and it's like, hey, get in the best shape of your life and get on cover magazines. And I'm like, hey, let's do it, bro. So, and we click on the ad, we sign up for it. So when we think about it like that, what's the very, very first thing we want to know? I want to know my click-through rate, right? How many people are actually like stopping to even click on my ad, because this lets us know as if our ad is really okay or not. Okay, so when we look at this and we see click-through rate, this number, like, they don't tell you where you need to be. I tell you right now though, you need to be above 2%. You're better off if you're closer to like 3% above. Okay, but above 2%. If at least 2% of the audience, cold audience, they don't know you, don't like, they have no idea who you are, is not stopping to see your ad is not going to perform well. Okay, so you need it to be above 2%. This is why we're testing so many different images and copy and things like that. We test all these, and I'll get into that in a second. We test all these to know what's going to give us that click that we need, right? What's going to actually stop? What image is going to stop? Because that's the very, very first thing. What image or video is going to stop people that they're going to click on my ad? Okay. Next is I look at the link click-through rate. Okay, you stop to look at my ad, you're reading my ad copy, and now you're clicking on the link. So I want to know how many people are clicking that link, because if that's low, my ad copy sucks. They don't want it. They're like, no, that's not for me. I like your image or video, but what you're offering me is not for me. So you want this right here. The goal for link is to be about 1%. Okay, that means more than half of the people who actually stop to click our link or to look at our ad are actually also clicking the link to sign up or register for our event. So that's an opportunity. So hey, we're not really there yet. So now we're gonna continue tweaking and testing this to make sure how can we tweak our ad copy so we can actually get a better click-through rate on our call to action. Okay, so this is where, like, clicks, this doesn't matter. CPC, it's a changing number. It's it doesn't matter. Okay, so how do ads work? People, we advertise a something. Okay, people see it and they click to convert. So now, okay, we're a coach, we're a life coach, we're advertising a free training that I can actually help you out. So I want to know how many people are actually going to click on that free training. And then if they click on it, how many are actually clicking the link to see what I got, right? That's simple, actual, real life terms here. Now, the next thing I like to do is to look at my actual link clicks and see, okay, what's my conversion rate looking like, okay? So conversion rate is a simple thing. So if I have, just sometimes on the back end, you can see in your web development platform, what's your page converting at. But I like to look at it from the individual ad perspective, because you may have a campaign that's converting lower or higher, and you want to put your money towards what's converting higher. So let's run some of those really quick. Let's look at this campaign, this campaign here, where is the masterclass, and this is the winning ads that we were testing. So we had 228 link clicks. And out of those, we had 21 leads, okay? So when we do this, let me get my calculator. 21 leads divided by 228 link clicks. And you can see it's a 9.2% conversion rate. And let's look at another one here, which is 491 link clicks. So 64 divided by 491, and that one's at a 13%. So that's converting about 4% higher. And you can see the difference in the cost per lead. This audiences that are going to this offer right here, they're converting a lot better. Okay, so this is now where, hey, we make a choice. Let's scale this other one. Let's scale this other one up right here, because this one's actually getting us a better conversion rate and so forth. Okay, so these are the numbers that really make a difference on what and really kind of move the needle on your ads. You want to know which of my ads are getting the better click-through rate. Okay, so this is essentially the basics of how ads work, right? When we set up an ad, I want to see what's going to get me the best, the highest click rate, what's going to get me the highest conversion rate. And then from there, now it's on the back end. Okay, now it's the back end. Now it's going to know how did my webinar do, right? How many of these people showed up to the webinar or class or challenge, whatever you do, and that's when you start repeating the entire process. Okay, so as we bring them to the class, we give them the information they need, and then we run a retargeting campaign. So this is the one up here. And it's run as a purchase. So we're just retargeting. We're retargeting these same people that signed up for the masterclass that this opportunity is here. Because here's the thing. It takes somebody about 7 to 30 times of seeing something that costs a high ticket before they would want to commit to it. Something they want. They need to still see it. If they want it, they still need to see it about 7 to 30 plus times. Think about that. They want your coaching offer. They want it. They're a yes. But there's so much objections going on. There's so much limiting beliefs. There's so much different factors that come up. Time, money, and then one of the big objections of will it work for me? Will it work for me is ambiguous because everybody that's different for everybody. Okay. But these are the common objectives. And if you could overcome those, and one of the ways we overcome it is by being able to have good sales page, things like that, to where now we're actually advertising it. So between the emails and Facebook, they're seeing your offer enough times so they can, whatever's coming up, whatever issues are happening, why they wouldn't want to join, by this time you've had a chance to remove all these, right? And this is part of retargeting copy. Sometimes retargeting copy, one of my favorite ones is called Objection Buster, because we create just a short ad, about 5 minutes or so, and this is really just where you share a story, but in essence, what the story does is talks a lot about how you overcame a challenge situation where to move forward. And in the case of moving forward a program, I ask my clients to share even the time when they first started deciding when they wanted to invest in themselves, and the shifts that they had to make. Okay. And then turn it back to your leads. Like, you may be thinking similar about this program, and I want to assure you, like, when you come in, you're going to get these deliverables, and it works amazing because it really meets our users right where they are, our new leads right where they are, and we're able to convert them in that shorter time frame because now the trust is built up a lot quicker, right? So these are really why we're doing these things, and the how is simple. We create that, we put it up. It's all math, it's all numbers, right? Click buttons and put it up and publish. But the strategy behind it is what really makes a big difference. And then how do you know it's working? Is you look at the stats, you look at the numbers. What's my conversion rate? Hey, I got 12 sales out of 704 link clicks. Now this is purchase, so you can know what was my conversion rate this time? What could it be next time? Look at the click-through rate. It was 4.36, a great click-through rate. But the link click was low. Something with the copy, right? They're although they like the image, but they're not really clicking to go to the sales page. What could we have done a little bit different? Okay, so. Okay, how do you actually create images and graphics? And I'm not going to show the ones we have here for the client, just out of respect for her business. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually first come into Canva, and I want to show you when we're designing ad graphics. It's relatively simple. Canva makes this like super easy. Now, nothing can replace professional graphic designer. However, if you're not a professional graphic designer, you want to start running ads, you're thinking about doing it yourself, or you're working with someone or an agency and you're like, I like to design myself. You guys run the technical stuff, I don't understand. Like my team and I do that. Like if you have graphics and copy, you want us to run ads, sure. If you want us to create it, sure. We can, it's flexible. There's not You're not locked into anything. So what I like to do is actually create a Instagram post square image. And the reason why is Meta has an article which they show us to update to Meta Ads Manager objectives. And this is just their ads guide. And the way this works is basically they just show image, video, carousel collections. And per their stats for regular Facebook feed, and for Facebook feed, for Instagram feed, is both the same. Both images can go the same size. You can do a different image for Facebook if you'd like. But right here, the recommended is you could do a 1:1 ratio. The 4:5 ratio doesn't show up that great on Instagram, but the 1:1 ratio shows up awesome on Instagram because a regular Instagram post is the 1:1 ratio. So if we go back to Canva, you can see where it says 1080 by 1080 square. So what we do is we just create a 1:1, and this solves it for both of them. Okay, so it makes it super simple, super easy, and we have other stats here too as well for like video. Let's see video. So there we go. So it shows you the size that they want. So resolution at least 1080 by 1080. So same thing too as well. If you can create everything you have within the same size, you can really, for starters, you can really get a lot done, right? So what we do is we come here. Now let's go to Instagram post. Like I said, nothing's going to actually replace having a professional graphic designer, of course, right? But this can get you started, especially if you're okay with design, things like that. So if you just come right here and just type in Instagram ad. Now be careful not to type in Facebook ad. If you type in Facebook ads, you're going to get Facebook ads. But the thing is, when Facebook first came out, at the same time Canva also came out, Facebook ads were these horizontal images. So the entire system is still programmed to just do Facebook ad templates as this horizontal and not square. So, the best bet to do is something like that. And you can see there's so much on here. And you can use any of these and copy it and change it up and do edits and design. As we were looking right here, you can see the same person. I'm picking on this person. It's public. Everyone can look at this, right? But she has her graphic and design right here, and this can be professionally done. Or if you could, you could look and you could potentially see that you can replicate something to look just like that, or something that you can do yourself. So you can come here and we do webinar ad. You can start seeing a lot more, right? Online webinar will be different. Like these are all great. You just make your own edits and boom, you have access to other people, other designers who have done the work for you to really go through and put together really good designs for webinars. And my recommendation is to come up with at least 3 graphics, and really let's see this one right here, right? So change the image, change the colors, depending on how your branding and stuff like that is on your site. You can automatically, I can shuffle this and I'll put it to my colors. I can change a picture, put one of my picture, I'll probably shuffle that more. Those are really on my colors. That's probably a little better. I don't like it. I don't like any of these shuffles that you guys are doing for me. I'll stick to that one for now. But I just change all these right here. And boom, I have a webinar graphic. And I can just do add page. Go back to design. Let's go back here. Let's do webinar ad. And I can put a secondary one. Now I'm not actually changing this, of course, but you can see the whole concept. It's really simple to just kind of go through and do it once you have Canva, and you have a graphic, right? So now you're able to actually run these graphics. Now the other one is for ad copy. Ad copy is relatively simple too as well. The reason why it's simple is because I made this ad flow formula, and you guys can all see this right now as I'm sharing this on the video. But number 1 is capture attention, 2 is relate, 3 is the shift, 4 is your solution, and 5 is their turn. Let's talk a little bit about this. So why it's called capture attention. When you're running Facebook ads and you run any ad, what's going to happen is, go back over here, sorry. What's going to happen is that the first line of your ad copy, right? the very, very first line of your ad copy is what Facebook shows to the user. Okay, this is what Facebook shows to the audience. And the way this works is that if this is over 125 characters, so if we go to tools, how do you see word count on here? Okay, my recording software is in the way, but there's a way to do it on Google Docs. Anyway, so you do word count. If it's over 125 characters, Facebook turns it into the 3 dots. So it's just dot, dot, dot. So you want to like craft this in a way to where you're making a strong statement to stop the scroll. Like, you should get an immediate yes or a that's me from your ideal client's mind, because what we're advertising, the training that we're advertising here, is something that they want now. They need now. Like, they're asking and they're seeking and they're praying for help and support now. Okay? So we're going to give them an opportunity. It's like, hey, in your current life now, I'm going to help you feel a little bit. I'm going to help you get over this roadblock here. And because on the training itself, we want to be able them to say, hey, this is something I can do. This is something I can do, something that I could even walk away right now and implement today itself to start getting some results. We're going to make people start to show up. If it's too far away, if it's unbelievable, or if it's like too complex, they're not going to show up, right? So, and the other thing is going to encourage them to read the rest of the ad copy so they can click on our link, okay? So relate statement, to let your client know you get them, include how you've walked in their shoes. Now, this is only for if you are like, a lot of life coaches I work with, like, they're their ideal client, or they were their ideal client. Like, they're a few steps ahead. They figured it out. Now they're teaching others how to do the same thing. So, you want to share a little bit of that story in there. Now, if that's not your case, if you're not the main brand of the life coaching and it's something a little different, you can adjust this. Just kind of use a statement. How you want to know, hey, I understand you, right? And then the shift. So typically, again, that same thing, right? So you're sharing your story. You're letting your ideal client know that they can overcome the challenge or problem. And you're going to tell them how you've overcome it and how you paved the way for them. And that's when you go now into the solution, which is the masterclass, the webinar, the challenge, the live event that you're going to host to attract these ideal clients for free, right? Name, email, phone number, and they're going to come. So you're going to share a solution with them. How it's helped you, and you're going to let them know how they can gain access. So you can say, I'm hosting this free training. On this training, we're going to cover 1, 2, 3. And so, like, what you have to do is click on the link below to register and get all the access you need to show up live. And then you give them that link. Now it's their turn. Now, I know I got 4 bullet points here. It could seem like a lot, but this is simply as you're giving them access to get the solution. That's the link. I'm giving them the link. I always stress that we want to have the link in the ad copy. When you're making an organic post on social media, it's common that, hey, don't put a link, don't put a link, don't put a link. Ads is different. As you're paying money behind it, you put the link in there. And I guarantee you're going to start seeing some better results, okay? So this is going to allow them to get the shift that they want. You want to be clear on exactly what to do. Sign up, download, register, click here. So depending on how you're running ads and what makes the most sense, typically it's sign up or register. And then include the link, right? Include the link. Can't stress it enough, okay? So what this looks like is that when you put it together, you start getting copy, right? And I was helping, this is a different client I was helping here. So think you're not ready to be a runner, this free toolkit will change your mind, right? So this gets into their psyche, into their mind already. So it reaches the person, and we give them so this is like a short copy. Then you have a longer version, one with like checklists, things like that. You want to play around. You want to test, right? That's the name of the game, being able to test, like I mentioned before when we were looking in the ad account. Let me go back here. I don't know what's going on. What I selected. Okay, got that little issue there fixed up. But you can see we're testing different images. We got videos 1 to 3, ad copy 4, image 16 to 19, ad copy 4, ad copy 1. We're testing different things so we can see what's going to work the best. Okay, so that is the primary thing I want to kind of break down for you. Okay, that's from the the beginning to the end, the strategy, what you're looking at, what you're going to be working with, okay? Now, some other concepts, some tactical stuff, like if you're going to be running this yourself, start off with a manageable budget, right? So that way, typically, like I mentioned, when we first started, it was about a $2K, I think a $2,500. I forget the exact, it's been a few years, but it was around $2,000 for the budget. Now, you don't got to start that. If you're doing it yourself, even if you spend $250 or $500 or a smaller amount, that's okay, because what you're going to do is you're going to get leads. And the whole goal is to convert those leads. So you may not be looking to convert 50 people right off the bat. Typically when you're starting a strategy. Now, that's a goal you're going to need a lot more budget for. So you want to be able to start off at a rate that's manageable for you, right? So for example, the way I look at that is that if I'm going to be running an ad, let me pull up my calendar really quick. Let's look at this together. Come on, calendar, don't fail me now. My calendar failed me. Okay, there we go. So let's say I'm going to be running a webinar on the 28th. I mean, depending on my budget, like if I'm going to run a huge, massive budget, right? Like $5, $10, $15, $20, $25,000. I'm going to be looking to start ads around the 18th or so because I want to get a lot of adequate testing done, for sure. Okay. So if you're starting it and you're going to be spending, let's say $15, $20 a day, start it around the 21st or at, 24th or so going into it. It's totally fine. For live events, you want to start ads. You don't want to start too far apart. Like we wouldn't want to say, I want to start ads on November 1st. It's too far apart. Anyone that registers here, by the time the 28th comes around, they're not going to show up. What we've noticed is that when you start running lead generation to a free live event too early, people don't show up. So 5 days is like, the latest I would start because you still do need to get some testing. So I'd recommend around the 21st. So get a few days of testing because the way testing works too is that a lot of people are like, oh, you run a test and you just money into it. No, it doesn't. What actually works is that, although I say test, is that we're setting all the ads up. Okay, where'd the calendar go? We're setting all the ads up on, let's just say 18th. Or we're setting all the ads up on the 18th. Okay, we have all these ads running. And that's why I say make it manageable. If you're running yourself, like me as a team, my team and I can run 12 to 15 to 16 different images, 4 different ad copy, 10 different headlines, and test it because that's what we do. But if you're doing yourself and you're doing your launch, like be realistic. Like, let's get some, like 3 images, 2 ad copy. That's about as how much as you're going to really be able to manage while still focusing on everything else, right? So I set all these up and I start running them. Now, around the 19th to the 20th, I'm going to start seeing that, hey, out of the 3 images and out of the 5 different audiences I'm advertising to, the 3 different images I'm running, audience 1, 2, 3 absolutely do not like image 2 or image 3. And I'm going to shut that off. Audience 4 don't like none of it. Audience 4 is just not converting. It's converting too high. We're going to cut audience 4 off, right? So this is what we're doing. Now we're letting the others continue running. And now we start scaling the ones that are winning. So now I got these, these 2 ads that are showing pretty good signs that they're working pretty good. I'm going to up the budget 15 to 20% on those as I'm continue optimizing. That's how it goes. Start out ads at the same time. And as you're turning off some ads, letting some others run a little longer and increasing the budget on others, eventually what happens now by the 22nd and the 23rd, maybe about 50-60% of the ads you were already running are now turned off because they just weren't converting really well. And the other 50%, you're looking at scaling those up. So you're going to increase those budget very slowly up until, what's the budget you have planned up until that's going to be spent out. So if I'm spending $500, I have to do the math on like how much am I going to be able to start testing with. Typically, if I'm spending $500, I can only really test with about $30 a day. That way, I can spend 30, 60, 90, and around this day, I got $410 left over, so I'm at $90. now I can start going about 20% to where by the time if I get to like $60-$70 a day, I'm going to spend the amount of money. Now, we always map that out as a team, so that way we know exactly how much we're going to be spending on testing, spending on optimization, and scaling. We break it down a little further, but that's the basics of it. So you turn it off and you start scaling. So let's go back in the Ads Manager. What we turn off, right? So like we're looking at some of these right here. Let's go back up here. Let's go here. Yeah. So as we're doing this, some of these get turned off, shut off. We're at the point now where like we've already done so much of that testing that not a lot is getting turned off and shut off. Like it's really just it may be a little bit slower, or like I know this one right here, this one got shut off. The cost per lead was pretty high, a lot higher than we really wanted to, so we ended up just turning it off. We're testing higher too as well. We're testing starting like at $100 a day, because again the budget is a lot more, so we're testing a lot more. So that is it. Graphics, the copy. This is what's needed for running ads, for really starting it on there and understanding how the ads work. Really, there's a lot of information that just has to get erased. It has to get just put blinders up to it, because you don't necessarily need it. And what you're really focusing on is what's really moving the needle, which is the click-through rate, right? The link click-through rate. How are these looking like? And then what's my actual ads converting at, right? So it's really just those three things that really, really matters when it comes to it. The other two pieces, of course, is going to be your cost per lead. So what is my, how much leads am I getting at my cost per lead? But that's the blatantly obvious one. That's the first thing you look at, is what my cost per lead is. And then, well, we can't only focus on this. We have to look at the other ones too as well, especially when we start to scale. It's really important to do that. Okay. So that is it for today. Really wanted to just kind of break this down as far as like what it really takes to make your ads work for you. So if you're a life coach and you're looking to start, using and start generating and start scaling up the amount of people you have that's going to be able to see your offers that you can convert, so you can make a bigger impact. You can just have, more successful groups, and you can really see a substantial increase in your revenue and your profitability and the abundance you receive. Facebook ads is one of the great ways to do it, and you can start off at a small scale and you can go to a high scale. If you're looking to really get even more of the step-by-step of how to do this in more of a written format, below this video I have it linked, which is the Facebook ads, a six-figure blueprint. And this exact same process that I showed you on here in video, I break it all down, especially like if you're, how to create the ads, the psychology behind creating the ad, and then the step-by-step tutorial of how to set them up in the ad account. So you get the exact written step-by-step, and it shows you the entire process that you can implement and execute on your own. If you're looking to actually work with someone like me and our agency, definitely reach out. Visit arfanhusain.com. Click on the link there to book a complimentary 30-minute call. Now, in that 30-minute call, I'll be able to assess where you are and let you know, it's like, hey, you got all the pieces. Let's move forward. Let's get this going. Or, I'll tell you where you need to be. Like, what do you need? Like, hey, you're kind of missing the event, or, you don't have a way to collect email and phone number. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, I'll put you in the right direction, so that way you can be able to, implement this strategy, implement this system. Because what it does, it saves you a lot of time now, to where instead of just hammering so much organically, like pushing organically, trying to get registrants, converting a handful of people here and there, you're able to start moving away from this one-on-one, going into solely group offers, and be able to sell to one-to-many. And not only sell to one-to-many, but to help one-to-many, to be able to coach one-to-many, be able to just extrapolate the amount of impact you're making, the positivity you're putting out. Because what really ends up happening is that once you have a larger group, and a larger email list, now you have more of an audience that really wants your offers, and it really allows you to just add that growth and scalability in the business for a short-term and long-term success. Okay, so schedule that call with me if you'd like. We can chat, we can talk about where you are and how we can help you to get to that next level. And other than that, if you're just more of a self-starter, you're like, hey, that sounds good to me. I want to just learn on my own, and I can implement, and I can do it. Get the guide. It's $4.95, and you can get instant access to that right away. With that being said, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share this with someone that might be beneficial, and I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great one. Bye.